Hi everyone, welcome. This is Kara coming back to you with a video on what the 5-day compassion stay is and eat, sleep, console. So you may hear this talked about, especially if you're working with a harm reduction doula or if you're in the greater Duwamish area of Seattle and you're accessing care through Swedish Hospital. But this doesn't mean that it's just exclusive to Swedish or Swedish addiction recovery services. The 5-day compassion stay is an evidence-based intervention that is designed to keep baby with the birthing parent for 5 days in postpartum. So why is this important and why is this recommended for people who use drugs, who are pregnant? The 5-day compassion stay can really reduce the number of babies who are separated from their parents. It also really increases long-term life outcomes and health outcomes for babies that are born to people who use drugs. That's not to say that it really would make any difference if somebody didn't use drugs, but there's kind of an assumption or a long-held tradition and belief that people who use drugs, like they needed to separate baby, and like babies were always high risk. They were automatically high risk if you had used substances or drugs at any time during your pregnancy. And that's not the case, but what the 5-day compassion stay gives you an opportunity to do is start Eat, Sleep, Console. So Eat, Sleep, Console is another evidence-based intervention, which is basically the practice of consoling your baby when they are unsettled or when they start crying, making sure that baby can be consoled, bonding with baby, doing skin-to-skin contact, feeding, initiating feeding, whether that is through feeding human milk. It's often recommended, but not required. Remember, fed is better than hungry, and there's nothing wrong with feeding your baby formula or some combination thereof. So feeding baby and then sleeping. So is baby sleeping, is baby eating, and is baby consolable? I'm going to be super real, as always. The 5-day compassion stay, while it is a great option and can oftentimes be super critical for parent and infant bonding, especially gearing up for a CPS intervention if that is on the horizon. It is also for the hospital to monitor for NOWS and NAS. So we have talked about this in previous videos. NOWS is neonatal opioid withdrawal syndrome. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying that in these videos. Neonatal opioid withdrawal syndrome, and NAS, neonatal abstinence syndrome. So they're looking for signs of withdrawal in your baby. And that 5-day compassion stay, that Eat, Sleep, Console can, well, it can be a time of monitoring and surveillance by providers. It can also be really protective in preventing some symptoms that can either be due to NOWS or NAS, but can also be confused with NOWS or NAS. Because we know when we separate babies from their birthing parent, they go through a period of like emotional and hormonal withdrawal. They have been living inside of your body. They've been listening to your voice, your heartbeat. They've been receiving your hormones. They can smell you. They can feel you. And so when they are separated, a lot of those feelings of anxiety and hormonal withdrawal and being in a new space, a new environment, having to learn to breathe, poop, pee, eat, without that security of knowing that they're with you can cause a lot of distress in baby, can cause eating issues, can cause sleeping issues, can cause inconsolability. So that's why it's really important, if possible or if it's offered, to do the 5-day compassion stay. I know that sometimes it's not always possible for you to stay at the hospital. You might have other kids, or you might have other obligations, or you might have court or things that prevent you from being able to do that, but I wanted this video to at least give you the knowledge to understand like what that option is, to ask for it if it is something that you want, and you may not be know if the hospital that you are intending to birth at offers that. And also equipping yourself just with like, what is that routine postpartum going to look like? You're learning the routine of your new baby. I've said in other videos, like babies don't have schedules, but they do have routines, and they're often cyclical and requiring kind of us to go through the same motions over and over again. And we're getting that practice through this process, and we're getting it with hopefully some support in place and questions answered by the people that are around you. And we know like where we are going to be sleeping, where we're going to be getting our meals, and all of that is being taken care of. So I hope that this was helpful. There's a lot more I could say about it, but I want to keep these videos brief, and it's not all encompassing, and it kind of is a little bit context specific. So for folks showing up to my workshop, I'll definitely be able to talk more in depth about it and talk more in depth about what the hospital experiences like during this period. But for now, I'm going to leave it at that. Reach out to me if you have any questions, drop comments in the chat, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.